Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and respected President of BCCI, Mr. Mahar from British High Commission, my former leader of BCCI, Mr. Mintu, Mr. Ando, respected and honorable panelist and discussant. Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon. Actually, I'll start with trade facilitation, Honorable Chairman. Trade facilitation is the issue that we are discussing for last many years. And unfortunately, we could achieve less. Our present president is also working for a long time with the Federation Chamber. And the struggle was to, bring changes, bring reforms that was long due. I was also former president of Japan-Bangladesh Chamber. The main object of formation of this chamber was, with the help of the time Mr. Dr. Abdul is here. He was the commercial counselor, Japanese, the then government, Japanese embassy. With all together, we have formed Japan-Bangladesh Chamber. Actually, the idea was to promote or change Bangladesh as a investment-friendly country rather than an aid recipient country. To the Japanese, it was known that Bangladesh is the largest recipient of Japanese aid. We from the private sector, we wanted to change it, and we are very happy to say today that Bangladesh at least could graduate there. At the moment, Japanese are considering Bangladesh as a place for investment rather than, giving aids and etc. What we can identify from the experience of life, that the institutional reforms are lacking. For example, Mr. Ando is a representative from Japan External Trade Organization, JETRO, which is the single agency working for last more than 50 years, investment, trade, export, import, everything. And that is single agency under MITI that you can get and you can have any sort of help, whether you are importing to Japan or exporting from Japan. Everything they will facilitate. Even they will facilitate to the extent that I'm a newcomer exporter to Japan, they will instantly give an office block there in the JETRO office, at least to start with, and you can later have your office there in Japan, somewhere in Japan. That kind of an institution they have developed, and Mr. Ando told me the JETRO was originated from the British Trade Agency. Our former colonials, unfortunately, we as a former colony could not reform what British government has reformed itself. Very unfortunately, it's true that we are still following the path of colonial institutions. The administration, the ministries, the agencies are mostly British structured, whereas these are redundant in today's world. So we are struggling, we are crying every day, but unfortunately, as Mr. Mintu was telling, that our voices are not very loud. Perhaps institutional lackings are seriously there. We are not really talking about what is really needed for us. So today's one of the bureaucrat as a district governor, who is a deputy commissioner we call, he will be posted to a trade department and he will be totally newcomer. So I am going there in the Ministry of Commerce, and we have to educate them. We have to bargain. So that kind of a situation we are living in, and I think the biggest challenge is the institutional reforms. The ministries in line are to be changed if government want to make Bangladesh as an investment destination. The agencies like CCI&E doesn't have any business anymore today, but it's still there. Controller of import and exports. No control of import is there, but a controller is there. Only issuing IRC and ERCs. Whereas we have EPB, Export Promotion Bureau. Mr. Ando will, bear me out. We should have by now import promotion agency, because you have got 2.2 million people coming in the job market. You don't have jobs, so you'll have to facilitate trade, import, reprocess and export. So this kind of institution for a small entrepreneurs, he doesn't have any place to go to have ideas or support, nowhere. Therefore, it's a very serious blockade for the entrepreneurs, especially newcomers and small and medium scale enterprises. For larger one, yes, they have access to everywhere. They can, invest money. They can borrow from overseas. They have, with corporate guarantee, they can, I'm also director of a state-owned bank. I know is easy for the bigger one, but for the smaller one is very, very difficult. So changes must be there. To be graduated, we must change or die. As this was a slogan made by one of the Japanese big corporation chairman office. It is a slogan there, change or die. It's a small office is sitting in Uniqlo, and the slogan is change or die. So changes must be continued as a natural process, and unfortunately we are not reforming. Today it was discussed by many of the speakers. So these reforms and these institutional reforms and the policy reforms must be continued. Our new president of BCCI is struggling after taking over. He is trying, but unfortunately, perhaps we could not do as much we should have done. I think I will end up saying that we must change, we must continuously reform, we must prepare ourselves truly that we want to graduate from a aid recipient country to a real investment friendly country, and we must change our quality of people's life only through business, trade, economic development. Everybody has mentioned about the basic things like health, nutrition, education skill. Vietnam has started educational skill policy in 1973. Today, where is Vietnam and where is Bangladesh? Why you are lagging behind? Why you are creating hundreds and thousands of BBS? Why? What for? Madrasa graduates, blah, blah, blah. Why? Whereas the mid-level managers are coming from abroad, from Sri Lanka, from India, from other countries. Very unfortunate, you see. So therefore, what I'm saying is from the experience of life. I'm not an educationist, I'm not a professional, I'm neither a consultant. So all other things being discussed, I think as a humble businessman, that if you give chances for the entrepreneurs for Bangladesh, they will make a big deal of changes. You see, from scratch today Bangladesh garments is second in the world, and businessmen like Mr. Jassim, Mr. Abdul, Mintu, all of as a single generation. After liberation we have grown. Therefore the philosophy must be from the government. There must be a philosophical drive that must be settled by the government. That cannot be asked from the market. So market will determine that whether it is an investable country or not. So market doesn't know religion, market doesn't know autocracy, democracy or democracy or anycracy. They only know whether there is rule of law is there, whether there is social infrastructure is there, skilled and educated people are there, whether market is there. I think all with this I'll conclude my small submission. Thank you very much.